Pisces, March of 2025 is going to be one of the most important and impactful months we have. So in this video, I want to give you your complete rundown on your March of 2025 horoscope and specifically how these eclipses are going to affect you. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabelle, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we are talking about Pisces horoscope for March of 2025, including their eclipse season horoscope and specifically how this eclipse season will impact you. 12 horoscopes in, and I'm considering that I'm probably not going to do this again, so enjoy it while it lasts. This probably long horoscope. In this video today, I'm specifically going to cover some of the major themes for Pisces in March of 2025, how the Aries and Virgo eclipse are going to affect Pisces, additional transits and how they are going to affect Pisces in March of 2025, and practical tips on how to apply this knowledge. So if you are a Pisces, sun, moon, rising, or something else who wants to not only take in the information of astrology, but also know how to apply it to their benefit in their life, watch this video through to the end, where I'm going to share at the end of this video some of my top tips for Pisces to utilize the energy of March to their benefit. And before I dive in, be sure to book a reading in the link in the description below, where in 1 hour we can dive deep into any and everything about your chart and transits, including your personalized horoscope for this month and eclipse season. There's multiple different kinds of readings you can book, or multiple different ways you can use your 1 hour time slot, so get some ideas in the link in the description below. I've also recently just launched 30-minute new/full moon horoscope. So if you just want to get your quick and simple horoscope/guide for the eclipse in Virgo or eclipse in Aries, I now offer that as an option for almost half the price. So check that out down below. And final note on announcements, I have launched my astrology coaching membership, where for just $100 a month, you get personalized monthly guidance in a live Zoom call and access to the reading recording, all of my astrology workbooks, and my $300 value astrology course for just $100 a month. So this is a once-in-a-lifetime offer. I'm probably going to pull off the astrology course soon. So check it out down below. Sign up down below if you want astrology coaching. So first and foremost, what are some of the major themes for Pisces in March of 2025? Your key takeaway, Pisces, this month for you revolves around your self-worth, your finances, and your relationships, and how your self-worth meets your finances, and maybe any critical attitudes you take towards your financial well-being, your self-worth, and how that affects your ability to initiate something new in your relationships. Not only this month will you be assessing your values in your finances or your value of yourself, but you're also going to be assessing the value of your one-on-one relationships and how you show up in these relationships. You may be revisiting a lot of conversations revolving around one-on-one relationships, or you could be reassessing for yourself how independent you are within these one-on-one relationships. Whether you are single or in a relationship, this applies to you. If you're single, this could be you assessing, what do I really want in a relationship, or what keeps me from having the relationship I want? Relationships, your values in them, and communication within these relationships is emphasized this month for a final turning point that you have been waiting for or trying to initiate over the last 2 years. And mainly these themes are presenting themselves because of eclipse season. We are going to have eclipses in Virgo and Aries, activating your 2nd house and your 7th house. But not only do we have eclipses in Virgo and Aries, we also have other transits happening, which I'll get to in a minute. But now let's talk about how the Virgo and Aries eclipse are specifically going to affect you this month. Eclipses bring destiny. They open a portal, and I love how Moon has described it in that way, because it really connected the idea of an eclipse portal for me, in the sense that sometimes it feels like we are stuck in a room with no way out, no windows, no doors, no vents, nothing. And eclipses come around and they open a doorway that didn't exist before. So oftentimes before eclipse season, we can feel like we are on a path in life that doesn't quite feel right. There is no doors, no way out, and eclipses bring destined, life-changing events, opportunities, and realizations that help us know what our path forward is. And eclipses happening in specific signs and specific houses bring portals and new doorways to specific areas of life. So starting off in March of 2025, on March 14th, we will have a total lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo, your opposite sign, Pisces, which I'm sure I mentioned in your overall Pisces 2025 overview. This is a huge moment for you since this is on your axis. The Virgo lunar eclipse will specifically happen at 23 degrees of Virgo, and it forms a positive aspect to Uranus in Taurus, in your third house, as I'm calculating correctly, I hope. And I'm a bit delirious at this point from filming. But point being, with the Virgo lunar eclipse, this is bringing destined, life-changing events and realizations and people and opportunities to your one-on-one relationships. Over the next 18 months, with the South Node being in your 7th house in Virgo, this highlights the need to cleanse, detox, purge, and release what no longer serves you in your one-on-one relationships, which doesn't just mean romantic. This also means your one-on-one partnerships in your one-on-one interactions. As a fellow Aries, or as a Aries who recently had the South Node transit their 7th house, really this meant defining how I want my interactions to go one-on-one. What does friendship mean to me? What does connection to the outside world mean? And what do I expect from other people in my one-on-one interactions? Similar themes will likely be highlighted for you, and especially highlighted in this month of March. If you're in a relationship, this could mean major turning points in your relationship. Not to fearmonger and not to at all really fearmonger, but last March for me with the lunar eclipse that was in my 7th house, I ended my 1-year relationship because it no longer served me. And so really the theme with the lunar eclipse in Virgo for you, Pisces, is releasing what no longer serves you and bringing to light what isn't serving you in your one-on-one relationships. Likely for you, this is going to be any sort of critical, selfless, or materialistic behavior that you take to your relationships, whether that is being too giving to your partner or your partner being too selfless and practical to you rather than giving a spiritual connection. The possibilities are endless, but regardless, the Virgo lunar eclipse is bringing your first shift or taste of the changes yet to come in your one-on-one relationships over the next 18 months or 17 months relatively. And with this forming positive aspect to Uranus in Taurus in your 3rd house, it is very likely that the changes that you've been going through in your daily network, daily communications, and publishings since 2019 could be coming into play with this to help you establish more firm sense of self-security in your one-on-one relationships. But the Virgo eclipse is only one half of the story for spring eclipse season. On March 29th, we are going to have a solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. With the solar eclipse in Aries, this is wrapping up a 2-year cycle. The North Node was in Aries from July of 2023 to January of 2025. And we got a taste of this North Node Aries energy even before July of 2023, because in April of 2023, we had a solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Aries. So since 2023, April of 2023, you have been trying to initiate a change in your self-worth. And also how your finances and your sense of security help you attain that self-worth. In the end, the 2nd house has all to do with our ability to be self-sufficient, both physically and mentally and emotionally. And so with there being this solar eclipse, the final solar eclipse in Aries, you're finally able to initiate that change you need and crave for your growth and well-being in your self-sufficiency. This could mean financial breakthroughs, starting something new that gives you financial opportunity. This could be establishing self-security. This could be moving out and attaining enough finances in order to sustain yourself. In the end, this could be an emotional journey. It is an emotional journey at the root of it, in the idea that you are attaining the self-worth that you desire. The solar eclipse is specifically going to happen at 9 degrees, and I think this is a symbolic meaning in the sense that numerology 9 is the completion of the journey. It's the final number. It represents integrity and wisdom. And so it's almost like being the wise old sage. And in that sense, meeting the sign of Aries, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It represents being the fool in many ways. And so really the initiations that take place on the 29th of March with the solar eclipse in Aries are coming from a place of being the wise old sage, so to say, who understands that they are forever a student of life. It's this imperfection energy of deep understanding and wisdom, but also knowing that nothing is the ultimatum, nothing is the end game, nothing is the final step. So really, with this solar eclipse in Aries, this could be an imperfect, so to say, initiation. It can feel like, well, This isn't quite, I don't think, the right thing to do in the long run, but I know it's the next natural step. And for you, this revolves around your finances and your self-worth. So in summary, Pisces, take a screenshot over the screen for your quick eclipse season horoscope summary so that you can keep it on hand, because if you're going to note any transit, it would be this one. With the Virgo lunar eclipse in your 7th house, you are taking the first step in letting go of what practical, critical, or materialistic behaviors no longer serve you in your relationships, friendships, and committed partnerships. And by letting go, you're experiencing a moment of fulfillment in this area of life. Again, it's a full moon, a time to reap harvest. With the Aries solar eclipse in your 2nd house, you are finally initiating the new beginnings in your finances, self-worth, security, and assets that you have been working on since 2023. What I would recommend you ask yourself during this time is, what independence and authenticity is my soul ready to initiate in my wealth and worth? And what perfectionist, materialistic, or critical behaviors do I need to let go of in order to feel true fulfillment in my relationships, friendships, and committed partnerships? The espresso machine decided to start cleaning itself in the background right as I'm filming that. And I could wait for it to finish, but frankly, I'm ready to finish with this series. So we're gonna keep plowing through. Now, there are a few other transits that you should note that are going to be happening in March of 2025, because they're going to affect how this eclipse season plays out, and they play a role in the major themes presenting themselves for you in March of 2025. Like I said, you're going to be assessing a lot of your values within your independence and values within your relationships. And that is because we have a lot of transits happening with Venus. Yes, Venus is the planet of love, and this could mean old lovers or love opportunities coming through financial means or from a place of self-worth for you. But in the end, Venus is not just love life, it's our love for life. And so you are assessing with Venus retrograde starting on March 1st, the values you uphold that give you a love for life within your self-worth and finances. This is a time for you until March 27th, when Venus retrograde re-enters Pisces, for you to assess, what is it that my finances serve? What is it my self-worth serves? How do my self-worth and my finances and my self-sufficiency affect my love for life? This could also be reflecting and maybe even simply put, not spending so much in this month to assess the value that your money plays in your well-being. It could also be simply put that you are assessing where you want to spend your money and where you put your self-worth and how your self-worth affects your well-being. In the end, Venus being retrograde in Aries from March 1st to March 27th until the solar eclipse in Aries is saying, hey, you need to reflect on your values here before you take any action and initiate something new. And symbolically as well, Venus goes retrograde at the same relatively almost degree as Mercury, and the solar eclipse takes place at 10 degrees. So not 9 degrees, 10 degrees, very close in proximity. Venus also does a few transits throughout the month and aspects, including a conjunction to the sun, I believe on March 22nd, I want to say. I actually don't have my note on hand, but I know it's over the screen at some point in this video. So when it forms a conjunction between the sun and Venus in retrograde in Aries, this can be a time where realizations come more clearly, and introspection and seeing the values that your wealth and worth play in your life are more easy. And you'll see I skipped over a few transits, but that's because I'm going to mention them in later segments. Mercury also does a lot of transits this month, which emphasize communication in your finances and self-worth. And what does that exactly mean? Well, starting on March 3rd, when Mercury is in Aries direct, this is a time for you to learn more, talk more, communicate more on matters related to your sense of self-security, your finances, and your self-worth. This could be having conversations with people that help you emphasize and realize what your self-worth means to you. Excuse me, oh my gosh. We're gonna plow through it anyway. Usually I'd really restart that, but we're not gonna. We're working through it, guys. It's been a day. And so point being, when Mercury is direct in Aries in your 2nd house, this emphasizes communication for you in your finances and self-worth. This is a time for you to communicate, to learn about your self-worth, the role self-worth plays for you, especially learning about the value it plays since Venus is retrograde. And then on March 15th, Mercury will station retrograde, which means you're revisiting all that you've learned about over the last 2 weeks. You're revisiting conversations. You're revisiting places that give you self-worth. You're revisiting people who give you a better understanding of what your self-worth is. This is a time for you to reflect, introspect, and revisit things so that you can really know what it is you want to initiate when we have that solar eclipse in Aries. Also a note with that, Mercury will be retrograde at 0 degrees of Aries at the time of the solar eclipse. And so with that, you can look back to March 3rd when Mercury was at 0 degrees of Aries to maybe know what themes will be coming back, or what it is you were thinking about on March 3rd may be really relevant to what you initiate on the 29th of the month. Right after the solar eclipse peaks on the 29th, Mercury retrograde will re-enter Pisces after, once again, the solar eclipse peaks. And so when Mercury retrograde re-enters Pisces, and when Venus also on the 27th retrograde re-enters Pisces, what this does is that it shifts the focus away from initiating change in your finances and self-worth and gives you the invitation to start reflecting on the journey that is yet to unfold around your sense of self and independence. Overall, the North Node is in Pisces right now for the next 17 months in your sign Pisces, whether that's your sun, moon, rising, or something else. And this puts an emphasis on you learning independence and owning yourself, stepping into a new level of yourself, a new level of being, up-leveling who you are. And so when Venus and Mercury go retrograde at the end of the month into this sign, Pisces, this means that you're going to start reflecting on, revisiting senses of self, revisiting old ways of being, appearances, image, revisiting independence, revisiting the value of independence and the value in how you present yourself, and maybe things that make you feel beautiful. You're not necessarily taking action in this area of life yet because you have to wrap up this chapter around your wealth and worth first, but you're getting the taste of the changes yet to come. And that is also a theme that I'll play into later in a segment about Pisces transits. Another quick note of themes of transits, you do have an ally this month in helping you establish new initiations in your finances and self-worth that align with your independence and authenticity. Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 12th house, will form many sextiles to Aries energy. There's going to be 2 to Mercury, 1 to Venus, and 1 to the sun. And what this really represents in the end is you're trying to initiate something new for financial independence, financial freedom, self-worth, and authenticity. And you can use what you've learned in the previous 2 months with Pluto in Aquarius in your 12th house to help you do so. Pluto forming sextiles to Aries energy symbolically just represents that they are basically high-fiving in the middle saying, let me help you out, let me lend you a hand, let me help you make this discovery easier. So the inner work you've done in transformation or in relevance to transforming your unconscious beliefs, thought patterns, traumas, wounds, generational wounds can come into play in helping you understand what you need to establish with your self-worth. Especially on March 5th and 25th, you may be having realizations, conversations, and clarity around this topic. And then I can't remember the other 2 dates off the top of my head, and I'm being lazy to go grab my screen and look. But when we have the Venus retrograde sextile, this could be really about us understanding the values of your self-worth and how that connects to maybe unconscious beliefs that are not aligned with your highest value. And then when we have the sun form that same sextile, this can be extra vitality in this realm. And the final theme of transits that I want to mention is that we do have a few Pisces transits happening throughout the month, which again, give you that taste of the changes that are yet to come and the growth work you are yet to do in relevance to your independence, authenticity, appearance, sense of self, and who you are in the world, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. And so with these transits, these may be key moments where you start to get an understanding of the growth work yet to come. As soon as March 2nd, which is the day of filming this video, Pisces conjuncts Neptune, Mercury conjuncts Neptune in Pisces before it enters Aries. And what that means is that you may have this intuitive, nonlinear understanding of what it is you need to do in matters relevant to your sense of self, your appearance, your identity. And then later in the month, first, I do remember that there is a aspect between the sun in Pisces and Jupiter in Gemini. So on the same day as that conjunction between Mercury and Neptune, the sun in Pisces forms a square to Jupiter in Gemini. And so the recent expansion you've done potentially with your home may seem like it's not in alignment with your next growth path. And this can be frustrating, overwhelming, confusing. It could also be just to bring to light that different areas of life have different needs. So there may just be, simply put, a feeling of conflict on the 2nd of the month, which is in the past. So not really helpful advice now, but just keep that in mind that it's not the end of the world. And then we're going to have, at the same time roughly as the lunar eclipse in Virgo, I believe on the 12th, we have the sun in Pisces, I want to say, conjunct Saturn in Pisces. And what that means is that we may be feeling, or you Pisces will be feeling, the sense of restriction. You may know what it is or get an inkling of ideas into what it is you need to do in matters relevant to your appearance, identity, sense of self, and independence, but you can feel restricted in your ability to initiate this. And that is symbolically just because the lunar eclipse also in Virgo is an invitation saying you got to let something go, you got to make space, you got to hit clarity first before you can take more action. You cannot fill a cup that is already overflowing with the wrong things. So that's kind of what that represents. I know there's one other transit, I believe, with Pisces involved. On March 8th, the sun in Pisces will form a trine to Mars in Cancer. And what this can mean is that while it may seem like your home life is maybe at odds with what you need to do potentially next with your sense of self to align with your growth, your romantic life and your pleasure and play do work hand in hand. You may be doing things in regards to creativity, passion, creative expression, art, and romance and dating that align with what you need to do next for your growth. Last few transits that I want to note just for clarification that may play a role but didn't fit into any major theme. March 20th, Aries season begins. That's when you can really feel the energy of the solar eclipse in Aries start to kick off. The next day, March 21st, Vesta stations a retrograde in Scorpio. So I want you to look back to February 22nd, 23rd. What were you feeling called to be devoted to in your personal beliefs and ideologies, and how that matches or worked well, maybe potentially with the sense of self you know you need to develop in the upcoming year, and also works well with your creativity and your expression. So what was it that you're feeling called specifically to be devoted to in your personal beliefs, your ideals, your religion, and your life philosophy, your life's meaning? It is possible that when Vesta stations retrograde in this sign, that you are retracting that devotion, so to say, feeling that maybe that isn't your ultimatum belief, and that is just something to be aware of and be patient with. And then we wrap up the month, March 30th, Neptune enters Aries after the solar eclipse in Aries. And what this means is that you may simply put, after you initiate changes that you need to, or get clarity on the changes you need to initiate in your self-worth and wealth, in your financial security, your Neptune follows suit to basically uphold the ideals and give an intuitive understanding of how to uphold this. So with all that being said, that long horoscope, what do I recommend, Pisces, you keep in mind for the month of March? What are my top tips? And I'm going to keep this short and simple. First and foremost, look back to April of 2023 and 2024. What were you trying to initiate in your finances, your self-sufficiency, and your self-worth? What kind of independence, so to say, were you asserting through financial well-being and emotional well-being? These themes can come back full force for their final initiation, and really think about what the root of the desire is that was, or that words aren't working well. What was the root desire behind your initiations that you made in 2023 and 2024? By understanding the root desire, you can really hit the root result you want in this final initiation with the solar eclipse in Aries. Secondly, I would invite communication in your self-worth and finances, meaning talk about your finances, talk about your self-worth, talk about what you're reaching for in this area of life. Learn online, follow people, listen to videos on self-worth, listen to videos on how to make financial income. Also, when Mercury goes retrograde on the 15th, reflect, revisit those conversations, revisit dialogues. Focus on emphasizing communication and learning in your finances and your self-worth in the end. And the final tip I would give is going back to that very, very important lunar eclipse in Virgo at the first half of the month for you. Ask yourself, what is my relationship with relationships? Are my relationships living up to my standard for my sense of self, or are they limiting my sense of self? Do I feel like I'm being my full authentic self in my relationship, or are these relationships limiting me? And what are my expectations within one-on-one relationships? The 7th house in the end is contract agreements. So what are the contract agreements you, so to say, unconsciously make with people in one-on-one relationships? These may be overwhelming concepts, but as you get closer to the 14th, they will start reaching their own clarity. In the end, those are the 3 tips I'd give to Pisces for the month of March. Pisces, let me know in the comments below. Did you appreciate this horoscope? Did you like the format, first and foremost? And do you want me to continue to make monthly overviews like so? Because like I said, making 12 horoscopes is exhausting when they're this long. But if you guys like these horoscopes, if you share it, if you like, if you comment, if you subscribe, I'll be sure to film another one in the upcoming month of April. Or if this was too long for you, if you felt like you maybe wanted something shorter, more simple, more brief, more generalized, let me know in the comments below. Give me ideas. Let me know what you want to hear about. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars. If you want more information about how this month is going to play out for you, once again, book a reading down below, learn more down below, explore the links down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name is Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.